Facebook, you can go live. I could go live. Speedway Tavern. Speedway Tavern. Speedway Tavern.
Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. What's the news today? Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Webby, GA, and Matt are here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.
No.
Dirtballs, sleazebags, slobs, degenerates, perverts, deviants, pigs, slimebags, scum, slimeballs, dirtbags, slime buckets and prats. Those are the words I can use to describe the stupid idiots that broke into Birmingham Speedway over the weekend. None of them are the actual word I want to use, but won't use because I'm better than those dirtballs, sleazebags, slobs, degenerates, perverts, deviants, pigs, slimebags, scum, slimeballs, dirtbags, slime buckets and prats.
Welcome, everybody.
You feel better for that now?
Possibly. Possibly.
Oh, well.
Yeah, so for those of you out there that don't know what I'm talking about, Birmingham Speedway got broke into over the weekend, and there's the estimates I've heard about £20,000 worth of damage to all the equipment was burnt out and smashed, and I mean it's just there are pictures out there if you want to go and find them. It's horrible. I think I was quite mild there, actually.
You were really? I was beginning to wonder if you was talking about one of us.
I never talk about one of you. Who are you anyway?
Michael, what should we speak about tonight? What are we going to talk about?
Well, the first thing I want to talk about is that there's a GoFund page, which I think you're going to put the
I'll put
link
it up on the. I'll put it up to that in a bit. Yeah.
But if you don't get the link for whatever reason, you can just go to the GoFund page and search for Back the Brummies, and that will take you to the place where you can go and donate. You know, even £1, even 50p, whatever it is that you can donate, it will help. Because at the moment, although the Masons have stated that they fully intend to start the season, it's got to be difficult for them. They've not skimped with the team this year. Let's be the Speedway family that I know we are. And I'll just actually bring you up to date. Last time I looked at it's been going for about 7 hours now, and there was nearly £3,000, £2,990 raised. It's now 3,010.
Oh, crikey. Yeah.
So
that's good.
Let's see if we can put another 500 quid on it tonight.
Yeah, out of Mike's pocket.
You ain't going to find 500 quid in my pocket, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Well said, Michael, says Lawrence.
Which bit? The dirt ball, the sleaze bag.
He also says, thank you everyone who's donated so far. Every single penny counts. And Elliot has just put the link up for me, which is fantastic. Yeah, the GoFundMe link. Yeah, thank you, Elliot.
Well done, mate. Yeah, so I will keep you up to date on that as we go through the night. As I say, £3,010 raised so far. They're trying to get to 15,000. So come on, guys. It's
So the story behind I don't know the full story behind it, but I'm guessing it was just of act of vandalism.
as far as I can tell,
Yeah.
pure vandalism.
No,
yeah,
it wasn't an
yeah.
accident. No, it was just vandalism. It's just
Yeah.
sick, isn't
Yeah.
it? Absolutely.
Hence my choice of words.
I think there was something similar happened at Swindon, wasn't there, a few weeks ago as well? They had a break-in down there at London, so...
It's terrible. It's
So-
we're all trying to get through this stupid pandemic and look after each other, and then that.
And that happens. Yeah.
So what are we going to do on tonight's show? Well, what we're going to do on tonight's show is we are going to make fools of ourselves once again. We're going to pick our picks for the National League, the Championship, and the Premiership for this year. And Matt's just talking to people off screen there.
I was just talking to my dad, so...
Oh, right, I thought it was your makeup artist.
No.
I'd sack him.
I'd sack. I think his name's Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
You can't get on, by the way, Webber, so you can't get on can't find the stream.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's there because there's a few people watching it. Yeah, so yeah, okay. I'll have a look, but no, it seems to be on everywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to do that. But also, I forgot to mention that we're going to pick for the top four for the Super League as well. So I just had to get that one in, didn't I? I just had to
I
get
think
that.
it's going to be top three, isn't it? Now, I think so.
Yeah, I think it is. We should talk about Cardiff before we do anything else. Bit of a surprise. Well, I thought it was almost anyway.
A little bit of a surprise, yeah, because there's still quite a way to go, and I think things can change a little bit. My concern with the whole Cardiff thing, of course, is that I think this is the last year of the contract, and I think the stadium obviously have got a lot of other events that they've cancelled over the last sort of 2 years since, or 12 months since the pandemic started.
It just feels like 2 years, Matt.
It feels a lot longer than that, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, I think, am I right in saying that this is Bearside's last year of running the GPs as well? So
I think so.
The contract for Cardiff obviously would be up for renewal. If it did leave Cardiff, and I sincerely hope it didn't, because Cardiff, I mean, I'm privileged enough to have been to every single Cardiff since the first one in 2001.
You don't look that old.
But,
Look much older.
I feel old. So it's I hope it isn't the end for it. Hopefully, it can be. We can look forward to going there again in 2022. I mean, where else would he go if it wasn't at Cardiff? It's I mean, I suppose the logical one, really, from a racing perspective, would be Bellevue, but you certainly wouldn't get the level of crowd at Bellevue that you would at Cardiff.
I don't think there's any chance of it ever going back to Wembley, is there?
No, there's talk of Bradford as well, but I think that's a little bit far-fetched, to be honest. I think there's obviously a lot of work going on at Oddsall, but I don't think it's anywhere near at the standard of staging a Speedway Grand Prix.
I just feel it was a little bit early to be cancelling it. I think that, but it is what it is.
The cynic would say that Cardiff's not close enough to Poland, wouldn't they? So.
I was just about to say that, actually.
Well, I've said it for you now, so
yeah, thank you very much.
I'll be the one that gets in trouble for me.
Yeah. While we're talking about this stuff, as I said earlier, we're going to be doing we're going to do the actual league finishing in the National League, because I don't believe they're doing playoffs this year, and we're going to do our top four in the Championship and top four in the Premiership. Playoff places, essentially. We would love to have your picks for all of those as well, with any reasoning, if there's any reasoning, because there won't be any behind mine. Put yours up there, and we'll see how we all fare at the end of the season.
Should be fun.
Right. The other thing to talk about is Brandon.
Yes. The court date's finally been set for, I think, October the 11th it starts. So long or wait yet. Fingers crossed that the owners will be held to account for what the way that the whole thing's been been handled. It's
Not
it's easy to
handled.
forget. It's easy to forget as well. There's I think South Coventry Speedway Group have already said there's an offer on the table that's neither been accepted nor rejected. So I think there's still hope for Coventry. You suspect the longer it goes on, the less likely it's going to happen. Brandon must be in a pretty shocking state now. To be fair, it's not been used for almost 5 years.
I've seen
Is it really 5 years?
Yeah, I've seen video clips of it. It does look
Yeah,
That's just weird that it's been 5 years. That's just
you always Coventry was always one of those clubs that you just they were a mainstay of British Speedway for so many years, and the thought of them not being there is still quite shocking now, to be honest. And fingers crossed. I've had some miserable days at Brandon, but I've also had some great days there. So
snap.
Nobody would be happier than me to be standing there. I'd even accept listening to Peter York again if it meant seeing Speedway at Brandon.
Steady.
Just to keep everybody appraised of what's going on, we are now at 3,040 on the GoFund page, so it's creeping up.
Good.
Creeping up. Keep going, guys. Keep going. Right. I suppose the moment has arisen that we're all really not looking forward to when we make fools of ourselves.
Yeah. Well, you're used to it, so carry on.
Yeah. He's lovely. He's lovely, isn't he? So, okay. I think who's going to go first, Chris?
No. No, I usually go third so that I can copy what you've said. Well, sort of mix up the two of what you've said.
Right. Well, Matt, I'll let you go first if you don't mind.
Which league are we starting with first?
We'll start off with the National League. So with the National League, as far as I'm aware, they're not doing playoffs. So we'll have to give our 1 to 4 how we think they're going to finish. So basically, we're going to be choosing the champions.
Okay. Well, there's been a lot of, obviously there's been a lot of talk with the National League. Obviously, the big thing, of course, is the Isle of Wight dropping out. Eastbourne, I think, are always going to be up there because of their home track advantage. Kings Lynn, I like the look of Kings Lynn. They've got some good riders in that side. Leicester, of course, they won it in 2019, I think, didn't they?
Yeah.
That season. Yeah, obviously there's interest, of course, for Birmingham as well, with the Thompson twins, of course, riding for them. Mildenhall, Jason Edwards, Jordan Jenkins, Luke Ruddick, Sam Beebe. That would probably be my top 4. No particular order: Eastbourne, Kent, Leicester, Mildenhall.
Okay. Well, I've gone with to finish first. I've gone with Bellevue, and that's probably going to be, as ever, a controversial choice. I'm just hoping that this is just my heartstrings now, because I'm just hoping that Jack Atkinson Blackburn comes back something like.
Yes.
But also I think they've got really good reserves in Connor Coles and Benji Compton.
Well, Benji Compton's got a lot of experience, isn't he? So.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that could. And then you got the McGurk brothers as well. So that's my number 1. 2, I've gone with Leicester. Again, as you mentioned, Joe Thompson, Dan Thompson, and Joe Lawler as well. That's not a bad combination. So gone with Leicester. 3rd, Eastbourne, for exactly the same reasons that you said. They've always got this home track advantage. I think that home track advantage is even greater in the National League, and it's not a bad looking side anyway.
No,
with Jake Knight, Richard Andrews, Nathan Ablett, Henry Atkins, Nick, and then I've got Mildenhall as well to finish 4th. Although I did, and you didn't mention them, I quite like the look of Newcastle as well.
Yeah, Newcastle have got Max Clegg. They've got some experience in that team, haven't they? With Max Clegg, Kelsey Dugard's fairly experienced. Joe Alcock's been around a few years. Ryan Terry Daly. So they're one team that I think could muster in it, but I'd still be inclined to say that the 4 that I've gone with will be there.
Yeah, we shall see. Now, Chris is writing all this down, of course.
No, I'm studying. I'm studying form. Right, I'm studying.
You're studying form.
It's a bit of
Go
a
on
mix and match. Mine is okay.
Go on
Form
then.
from 2 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. First, I'm going to go for Eastbourne. Okay.
Okay.
Followed by Leicester.
Okay.
Nobody's laughing, so I'm
No,
doing
you're
quite
well.
well.
So far, you're choosing teams that we both chosen. So we
Have I?
wouldn't
Oh,
laugh.
no.
Yeah.
Okay. Third, Mildenhall.
Okay. Again, you sort of, yeah.
No. And coming up last, Bellevue. Fourth.
Okay. It's not last,
Nobody
is
fancies,
it?
nobody
Fourth, I mean,
fancies
yeah.
Armadale. Then.
Sorry?
Nobody fancies Armadale. Then.
Armadale. Well, obviously not. Yeah. I'm not sure about. I don't know much about Lewis Miller and Gregor Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much. There's a lot of brothers in this league, isn't there? This year.
There's some experience in that Armadale team as well. You know, Nathan Greaves,
Nathan Greaves
Danny
and Tom
Phillips,
Waller. Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Phillips as well.
Yeah, it does look a very even sort of, and then, Leon Flint at Berwick as well. That's a great.
Carl Bickley.
Yeah, Carl Bickley, Greg Blair, Ryan McDonald, Ben Rathburn.
Dan Jokes, I think Kent's going to be another one to watch out for as well, isn't he? So,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do rate him.
yeah.
Actually, I think he's got something about him.
I've got a couple of predictions that have come through.
Okay.
First one from Jamie Mills. He said for him, Leicester, Eastbourne, Berwick, then Mildenhall in that order.
Okay, so okay. We're all much of a muchness, but Berwick, yeah, interesting.
Oops, no, sorry. And Elliot has gone for Leicester, Armadale, Eastbourne. He hasn't given a fourth.
Okay, Leicester, Armadale, Eastbourne.
Some interesting ones.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the thing about Armadale is they've got that. So I've not actually seen Plymouth, but it's supposed to be a good track, isn't it? No.
Yeah. Simon's gone for Bellevue,
Plymouth,
Leicester,
Armadale.
Eastbourne, Mildenhall. Did you get that?
No, I didn't. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm just realising that I said Plymouth, but don't worry about
Well, you're
it.
a plonker. Simon's gone for Bellevue, Leicester, Eastbourne, Mildenhall in that order. It's almost the same as yours, isn't it? It's not far. Yeah. There we go. Those
Okay,
are the
I'm going to get
predictions so
I'm going to
far.
get letters now, aren't I?
Are you? What?
Yeah.
What more?
Do you owe people
Yeah.
money?
Oh yeah.
No, I don't think you can get done for that.
What, throwing people money?
No, for dressing up. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I promised not to reveal that secret, didn't I?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Shall we go to the best league, then the Championship?
Yep.
Well, the largest league.
Well, there is that. Yeah.
We'll let Matt lead that then, shall we?
Yeah. We'll go the same order again.
Okay.
Okay, well, I've gone for Glasgow to win it.
Okay.
So I think most people are going to say another team, aren't they? But I'm going to go for Glasgow to take it.
Well, top four is really what we're after.
Yeah, I'm going to go Poole second. I'm going to go Edinburgh third. But I'm going to go, bit of a surprise one, I'm going to go for Kent fourth.
Kent. I do like the look of the Kent team, actually.
Yeah.
It does look a good team. I've gone almost exactly the same as you. I haven't put them in any order. I've just gone for who's in the playoffs. But I'm just wondering, do you want to give any of your reasons for any of those teams?
I like the look of Glasgow because they're solid all the way through, and they've got probably the best rider in that league in Craig Cook, certainly the top rider in that league. Poole, I think, they're as ever, even though it's a different league, they're going to be strong all the way through. They've got a good top two in Schlein and King, and I think they've got some good riders that are coming through the ranks as well. Edinburgh, they've got Sam Masters, of course, riding back in the second tier again. They've got a good little blend there of youth and experience as well. With obviously Richie Worrell there as good backup. William Lawson, who's been around for ages, but still a very, very good rider. My reasons for saying Kent fourth. I mean, obviously Scott Nichols at number one. Cameron Heaps has been, has obviously had a very, very good season in 2019. Tom Bacon, of course, Dan Gilks, Paul Stark, Ben Morley, Paul Hurry, of course, with a lot of experience at number 7. But I think that's a good, solid team, Kent. I think they'll surprise a few people. I don't think they'll win it, but
No.
I certainly think they've got a very, very strong chance of getting top 4.
I do like Kent's track as well. I think it will suit Scott Nichols down to the ground.
I don't think he's ridden there, has he? Because I don't.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. I imagine he's managed to get some practice laps in by now. But yeah, right. So I suppose I'd better give you mine. Well, again, as I said, in no particular order. I've got Pool Pirates. Just because you can never write them off, can you?
No.
And it's not a bad looking. It's not a bad looking top 3, is it? Rory Schlein, Danny King, and Steve Worrell.
That's a stronger top 3 as you're going to get anywhere in that leg.
And I sincerely hope Daniel Hume does really well as well for them at reserve.
Yeah.
He deserves. He's had some bad luck over the past few years. He deserves a bit of luck.
Oh,
like you, I've gone for Glasgow.
Mm-hmm.
And for the same reasons, really. Craig Cook and it's going to be probably. Although I wonder about what sort of form Crumpy's going to have. That's going to be interesting, isn't it?
I was wondering whether either of us were going to say Plymouth, to be honest, because they've got a lot of points taken at the top end, haven't they?
At the top end and hardly anything at the bottom.
That'll even itself out, really. I think once the riders get more realistic averages, then there'll be maybe a little bit of
room to improve.
Changes, but I think the likes of Alfie Barstow, Henry Atkins, and Zach Cook, and riders like that, they're going to benefit so much from having somebody like Jason.
Certainly, yeah, absolutely. That is
going to be, with his experience, and
that is true.
I mean, okay, he's not expecting. We're not expecting him to sort of hit the form that he had in sort of 2006, but certainly from the bits that we've seen of him since he made his comeback, he's more than capable of holding his own. And I think he'll be a top man in that league, and I think Plymouth will be a big draw. I think for every away track they go to, purely for seeing.
Of course, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I must admit. My worries with Glasgow is Ulrich Ostergaard and Justin Sedgman.
Jack Smith might be a concern as well, won't he? Because Jack can be a little bit erratic, can't he?
Yeah, but I think if they have to, they'll make replacements, of course. So
Glasgow will without that.
Yeah. So I think they're going to be there or thereabouts. I've also got Edinburgh.
Yeah, I went for Edinburgh as well.
Yeah. So obviously Sam Masters, Richie Worrell. That's a good top 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's solid. Josh Pickering, Nathan Greaves. He's about time for him to. So rate him. I think he's a good rider.
Yeah, I've got a lot of time for Nathan Greaves. He was a good rider when he rode for that season at Wolves, and he's been around a few years, to be fair. So he's got a lot of experience.
Can you guess who I've gone for as my 4th team?
Do they race in yellow and red by any chance?
They absolutely do. Wow.
Plymouth.
Yeah. Now Plymouth don't race. You're going to say Leicester.
Yeah.
Plymouth don't race in red and yellow anymore, do they?
Well, they used to, didn't they, years ago?
They used to. Yeah, they did. They used to. Obviously, there's a bit of heart in this because I want Birmingham to do well. It's my club, of course. And I know for a full fact that you're going to choose Wolverhampton as well, by the way.
You never know.
We'll find out. But that signing of Eric Chris,
I think that's the signing that's going to give everybody a huge lift.
Yeah, he is. I saw him when he won the championship riders final, and I was very, very impressed. And of course, he came to Perry Bar and scored a maximum.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, with Berwick, he absolutely
no,
trained.
Was it Redcar? No, it was Redcar, wasn't it?
Oh, Redcar, that's right. Of course it was. Yes, Redcar. Who must be really. And we also mentioned Redcar, who
Haven't finished their team yet, of course. So.
They haven't finished their team, and it's what they've got doesn't look half bad. So there is a possibility for them to get in. Yeah, no. But I also think we've probably got the best reserve in the as well, which is always important with Paco.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, go on.
I think looking at the Birmingham team, I think they'll always have strong reserves.
Mm. Yeah, I mean the things to worry about, I suppose, are James coming in at the sort of form that he had before he hurt his back. That's quite a serious injury, but he's had plenty of time to get over that now. And Ashley Morris for similar reasons, because he was absolutely tearing the place up, wasn't he?
He was fine, wasn't he, at the time?
Yeah, when that. Yeah, so I mean, if he comes back to anything like that form, then we've got one hell of a team. So yeah, and I think Jack Thomas could do quite well as well.
I like Jack Thomas. I think didn't he win the under-19 rating, didn't he?
He did, yes, at Birmingham. Yeah, he did. So so although it is half-heart, I do think they've got a chance of making.
Well, I think it's important as well because I think I mean, obviously I can say this is a neutral, but I mean I thoroughly enjoyed watching Birmingham in the Championship in 2019. I thought there were some
great matches, wasn't there?
That's important, but I think the Birmingham supporters, they're not, they want to win as well, and I think it was crucial. I think that a stronger team was put out this year, and I think it was maybe looking a little bit unsure before the arrival of Eric Riss, but I think the signing of Eric Riss potentially transforms the team because there's a genuine big hitter now at number one, someone that is going to go out and have a great chance of winning at number one.
He actually won't be at number one to start the season.
Oh no, of course he won't. But he will be at number one, I think, at the end of the season.
I think he probably will be. Yeah, I think he probably will. It'll be interesting. Hopefully, there'll be a big battle between the two of them.
Oh yeah, well that would be important, wouldn't it? Because it's a good competitive rivalry to have in the team. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know much about Valentin Grobar, or however you pronounce that. Grobar. Okay.
I was having a look back at his scores when he wrote for Somerset, didn't he? In 2019?
He did, yeah.
And I think he was getting 7s and 8s, wasn't he, a season? So
well, that
he's a good solid middle order man, I think. So
yeah, that I mean, 7s and 8s would suit us down to the ground, wouldn't it? That'd be great. So
I would say, looking at the Birmingham team, he's probably going to be the key man, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if he kicks on, then there's a potential of a 3rd 8 leader. So
I think it's a great sign. The other reason that Eric Riss is a great signing because he's got another German in the team that can help. That's with more experience and that can help him. I think that's a great move. So, of course, the thing that we have to say in all of this is COVID, getting riders across.
Of course, yes.
So we don't know how all that's going to work out yet, but hopefully, I think Paco's going to be basing himself in this country, from what I understand. So that I don't think that should be a problem. But so I don't know what's happening with Valentin and Eric, but Kingsland have signed him as well, so they must have confidence in that.
Yeah. One team I'm surprised that maybe you have left out is Leicester.
I did think about Leicester quite a lot. And I'm looking at their team now and I'm trying to work out why I didn't pick Leicester, but it's a strong looking team.
It's a strong looking side.
It's a strong looking side.
Yeah.
I can't deny the top 3. That's solid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Morris, Ryan, Douglas, Kyle, Howarth. Dan Thompson and Joe Thompson are a bit unproven at this level.
At this level, yeah. It's a solid looking league all the way through when you look at it, isn't it?
It is absolutely. It is, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't put Scunthorpe down as a playoff team, but I think they've got a pretty solid looking 7. So
yeah, when I first made my list and then went back and had a look at it again, originally I had put Scunthorpe on as a playoff team.
Yeah.
Because Simon Lambert at 6, that's a lot of experience at 6, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think Teruanio, as we discovered 2 years ago, I keep going to say last year, but it was 2 years ago. you know, he was flying by the end of the season. He was getting maximums, and he's on a 6.85 average. So, yeah. So it is, as you say, very, very even. Have we got any predictions out there, Chris?
Yeah, we've got loads. Do you want mine first, or
I suppose we better, hadn't we?
or do I don't I don't count, do I?
Well, you don't count, but we'll have it anyway.
Okay. Well, purely because I can do this. Right.
So that's Paul. Okay.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to go Paul,
Yeah.
and I'm going to sneak the Brummies in second.
Okay.
Kent, and then where should I go?
Glasgow. I think it's going to be a great league this year.
Yeah, it's good.
We can-
It's a good competitive league.
Yeah. And when I look at some of the Premiership sides, I'm not sure that some of the Championship sides might not give them a run for their money, but we'll.
Well, possibly.
Yeah.
Right, we've got loads of predictions.
Okay, go.
Okay, so Paul Compton, he says Leicester, Glasgow, Poole, and Birmingham in that order.
Okay.
Jamie
Good man.
Mills goes Eastbourne, Kent, Birmingham, and Poole.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because before the Eric Chris signing, nobody was picking Birmingham to get a top floor. Now, all of a sudden, it's amazing how that one signing has transformed the side.
Yeah.
There's a few, yeah. Simon says Poole, Glasgow, Plymouth, Birmingham. Derek Turner says Glasgow, Poole, Birmingham, and Edinburgh. Malcolm says
Almost mine. Yeah.
Malcolm says Poole, Edinburgh, Leicester, Kent. Elliot says Edinburgh, Birmingham, Poole, Plymouth. Jamie Mills says Kings Lynn, Ipswich, Bellevue, Peterborough. Simon,
Peterborough.
Simon says Wolves, Sheffield, Ipswich, Dad's Army, Peterborough.
Okay, well that's all. That's Premiership, so we'll get onto that in a minute.
Brian Book says I've heard that Paco and Gruber, is it how you spell it?
Grobar. Yeah, Grobar.
Will both be based in England next season, but I'm not sure whether this will also be the case with Eric Riss. Maybe Lawrence can confirm. Oh, and there you go. Lawrence pops up. Eric is living at Kings Lynn at the stadium.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go then.
That's very
So
good news.
that is great news.
That's good news, says Mr. Brian Buck.
Right.
So I'll just get this last one in, and
Okay.
I've caught up. Edinburgh having Willie Lawson at reserve is a big plus. His equipment is much improved, and it will cause some damage for sure, says Christopher Black.
What sort of equipment has he got? He's causing.
Misses.
I want to ride fish. His old bikes, isn't he, sir?
Yeah.
No.
He was. Yeah, we had some fun with him at Birmingham a few times. Him and Jason Lyons, didn't we? Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go on. Was that it?
That's it. Yep, we're caught up
Right.
now. Yep.
Okay, so we'll go to the half a league then.
For what?
The half a league.
All right. Okay.
The first thing I think we should say is come back Swindoners, please. Because
And Somerset. Remember.
And Somerset as well, yes, and Somerset. And the Premier League, Premiership, definitely needs another team on top of that, don't you think?
Well, I think, in fairness, you can probably get away with it this year because it is going to be a shorter season.
Of course, this year's more about watching Speedway than anything. Let's be honest about it. This year, it's more about watching Speedway and enjoying that and having the freedom to enjoy all of that, even more than winning, I think, although I want to win. Of course. It's always sweet. It's always sweet. Go on then, Matt. Give us your picks.
In any order, or do you want me to?
Well, we're going to do the playoffs, basically, so who's going to reach the playoffs? I mean, if you want to do your 1 to 4, if you want to...
In no particular order, okay. I'm going to go for Bellevue, Ipswich, Peterborough, Wolves.
Okay. Come on, then give us your reasonings.
Well, I mean, Bellevue, I look at them, Brady Kurtz, Dan Bewley, of course. I've got to say, I'm very disappointed, of course, that we're not going to see Robert Lambert in the UK this year due to Polish laws. But there we go. But Bellevue again, strong all the way, solid all the way through. I think they've got a very talented young rider in Tom Brennan as their number 7. The Worrell brothers, of course. Charles Wright, who had a superb season in 2019, of course, culminating in winning the British final. Dan Bewley's made some great progress as well, despite a couple of nasty knocks. So you never write Bellevue off.
He looks good value on 6.15, doesn't he?
I've heard a lot of people talking about the Peterborough team, about it being too old and a dad's army team, but there's some good experience still in that division, in that team. I think probably the big question mark over Peterborough would probably be Bjarne Pedersen, a big fast track like Peterborough at this stage. And Ulrich Ostegard as well, of course.
That would be my question, Mark.
I think, as I say, they've got quite a lot of experience in that team, and I think that will stand them in good stead. And of course, my club Wolves, I fancy our chances of doing really well this season. I think the big thing for me is going to be Ryan Douglas, because he's had a superb campaign back in Australia. I think, of course, he signed for Wolves midway through 2019 and struggled a bit at Monmouth at first, but was sort of getting better as the season went on. If he can keep that going, I think he's going to have a big part to play for us this season. Rory Sloan, of course, he's going to want to go out on a high. It's his last season, of course. Nick Morris, if he can get back to the sort of form he had 2 or 3 years ago, then he's going to be an absolute snip. Luke Becker as well, who did brilliantly when he first came over here. And I think, I'm not just saying this because he was on the show, but I think we've arguably got the best number 7 in the league in Tom Bacon.
I was going to say it's exactly the same.
Really pleased that we managed to get Tom to join us.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same.
Yeah.
And the thing about, well, we'll talk about that in a minute, because you never know. I might have chosen Wolves. What about Ipswich? Because you chose Ipswich as well. No, it wasn't Ipswich. Yes, it did. You chose Ipswich.
I chose Ipswich. Yeah, I think they've got some, again. Anders Rowe, I think, obviously, who's of course, I think he obviously was on the show, wasn't he, last year? And I think
he was impressive, wasn't he?
Riding that spell racing in Poland, I think has really benefited him. Drew Kemp, of course, and again, as I said with Plymouth, I think some of these riders that are in that, some of the younger riders like him and Jordan Stewart and Anders Rowe, I think they're going to benefit from having Crumpy in the pitch as well. So yeah, I like the look of it. I think they're pretty solid all the way through. Danny King and Nikolai Clint, of course, who's becoming a number 1 really in the top league. To be honest, okay, it's maybe not as strong as top league as it was when he first came over 10 years ago, but he's still capable of getting the points. So yeah, Bellevue, Ipswich, Peterborough, and Wolves were my top 4. Did think about Sheffield, but it's a bit penny for the Sheffield fans' thoughts, really, because of course this time last year they were looking forward to seeing Nicky Pedersen riding for them, but that would have been something. Yeah, I think they'll be in and around the mix, Sheffield, but I think maybe away from home that might be their Achilles heel a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, when you compare them to the other teams, they've gone a slightly different route in their building. There's a few more sort of holes, if you see what I mean. So they haven't got. Yeah,
I think Kings Lynn look weak. To be honest, I think. Okay, I know it's a watered down league, but I still think they look a pretty weak side. Lots going to depend on Lewis Bridger, of course, coming back for 4 or 5 years away. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on. But I don't see Kings Lynn. I might get a bit egg on my face because they might strengthen the team. We can always never rule that out, but I'm not so sure about Kings Lynn, to be honest. I think they'll struggle.
Right, so I've got Kings Lynn to win.
Turn the paper up.
Oh yeah, okay. Right, so I've gone then with let's get the nasty thing out of the way first. I've gone with Wolves.
I thought you were going to say you're going for Bellevue.
So, oh dear. Yeah, I think Luke Becker looks good value in a 5.27.
Oh, without doubt.
Particularly in this league. I mean, that's something that we should say. I mean, when you look at the averages going through the league, it's not. It's understandable that it is what it is, but it is a weakened league. And as I said earlier, it'd be interesting to see some of the championship teams against Kings Lynn, for instance. It'd be interesting. I don't think it'll happen. So I mean, and I'm probably going to say this all the way through. I mean, this just absolutely solid, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Just solid all the way through. I think Brock Nichols probably going to be an interesting one, and that might be a make or break signing for you, how he deals with it. Tom Bacon. Tom Bacon's good value.
Yeah, as I say, I'm pleased with signing Tom Bacon.
Yeah, Tom Bacon's good value. He'll get out the gate for you all night long. And the thing about Tom is, I mean, obviously he spent a long time at Birmingham, is he listens and he learns. When he first came to Birmingham, he was basically a gaiter. And if he didn't get out the gate, you could see him trying to get past riders and he couldn't do it. And we've all met riders like that. But now that's not true. He's worked it out. He's sat down and he's figured things out. And now he's a rider that goes past riders as well. So, I mean, that's just, he learns as well.
Yeah, and the other thing I'd say about Tom as well is that having spoke to him many times and interviewed him when I've been doing work for Rerun, everything about Tom is immaculate with his professionalism, the way he speaks to you, the way he deals with his sponsors. And that's why I wasn't surprised when Wolves went for him, because Chris Van Stratton has always been very, very big on having riders with a very, very good level of professionalism in his team. And that's certainly Tom Bacon.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right, so we've got that out of the way. And I've gone with Bellevue.
Yeah.
Very, very solid all the way through. As you say, Charles Wright, brilliant season, and hopefully can kick on. But I think Dan Bewley on 6.15 is incredibly good value.
Yeah.
I think again in this league, he's going to get more than that. I know. Steve Worrell on 5.53 is pretty good value as well, to be honest.
Is it that low?
Yeah.
Ooh. I thought he was doing higher than that.
No.
I like Steve Worrell. He's a good rider.
Yeah. It's 5.53, so that's not a bad at all. Ipswich.
Yeah.
I went with Ipswich as well. This is not good radio that we're agreeing with each other.
Go on, say Kings Lynn for fourth a day.
the standout thing for me there is Anders Rowe. I think this is going to be kicking on season for him after everything. I mean, we had him on the show, didn't we? And he was very impressive in what he said, and he was so full of enthusiasm for what he'd learnt in Poland. We couldn't stop him talking, could I? It's good to see he's in employment, of course.
Yes, I was waiting for somebody to drop that in.
So yeah, and as you mentioned, Jason Crumps, people are going to learn from him. He's one of the highest averages out there. Is Jason in that league? I think he is the highest average. No, Troy Batchelor has got a higher average. But yeah, talking of Troy Batchelor, I didn't pick Sheffield. I picked Kings Lynn. No. I did think about Kings Lynn for a while. I'm not as down on Kings Lynn as you are, but I went with Sheffield.
Oh, you went with Sheffield?
I went with Sheffield.
You're different for me in that one then. So.
I think Adam Ellis could be for kicking on for him. I think at 6.25, that's not a bad. That's good value for him, I think. Particularly in this league. Slight worries about Justin Sedgman. I mean, I love the Sedgehammer, but I'm not sure. We shall see. Josh Bites at number 7 is pretty good as well. So I've got them as possibly making the And of course, Troy Batchelor will kick on, I think, as well. So there you go. That's my top four.
I mean, I know obviously the situation with Swindon not running this year is obviously is a massive blow, but in some ways it may do Troy Batchelor good to have a year away from Swindon, to be honest.
Possibly. It's a very similar sort of. Mind you, now it's not anymore because Swindon has their track's changed quite a lot, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not such a full throttle track anymore. Okay, well there we go. Have we? Can we have Chris? Can we have yours?
Just we'll go to mine and our viewers. Brian Buck says, did I read that the top 6 teams will contest the playoffs, or have I imagined that?
I don't know. I thought it was the top 4. There is only 6 teams, isn't there?
There's only 6 teams, yeah. There's more teams qualify for the playoffs than don't.
They don't, yeah. Top 6. That would almost make it better, wouldn't it? Top 6.
I'll do a bit of digging on that, see if I can find out.
Before you tell us your 1 to 4, Chris,
so you can have a laugh,
we're at 3. Yeah, absolutely. We're at 3,180 on the GoFund page.
Come on,
Fantastic.
come on, people. Give us your money.
Give us your money.
Give us your money.
That Welsh accent's coming on.
And just for people who've just joined, Mike, can you reiterate what's going on?
Yeah, so Birmingham Speedway had a break-in over the weekend. Vandals came in and just basically trashed the place. There are a few photos out there of all the stuff that went on. All the equipment's basically as just it's all written off basically. So just a month before we tape, so Birmingham's finds themselves with a £20,000 bill, which in these times ain't easy to sort out. So there's a fundraising page on GoFundMe. If you go to gofundme.com and search for Back the Brummies, you'll get to the page, and just put £1 in or whatever whatever you can afford.
It all helps.
Absolutely. They're trying to get to 15,000. It's been going for 8 hours and it's at 3,180 as we speak.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's like the Speedway family are rallying.
Absolutely. So if you can get yourselves on that and give whatever you can, it would be gratefully accepted.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Okay, so we'll go to my pick, and then there's quite a few picks to go through from our viewers as well. So
Okay,
so I'm going Ipswich, Wolves, Peterborough, and then I changed it at the end to Sheffield.
what was it going to be? Please say Kings Lynn.
Bellevue.
Okay.
Okay. No, nobody's laughing.
Well, nobody is going to laugh because there's 6 teams to protect.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's true.
Which teams has nobody picked? Or Kings Lynn?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Sheffield, yeah, that's it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go through a few. Elliot says Sheffield, Wolves, Bellevue, Kings Lynn, Peterborough, Ipswich in that order. Jamie goes Kings Lynn, Ipswich, Bellevue, Peterborough.
I'm glad that somebody's picked Kings Lynn. It felt a bit like no point. It's like the Eurovision. Nil point.
Nil point. Wolves, Bellevue, Ipswich, Sheffield, says Malcolm Bethel. Derek Turner says no particular order. Bellevue, Ipswich, Sheffield and Wolves, as CVS and Peter Adams always seem to pull something out the bag. Derek Turner also says James Wright, if he finds his form, could be decisive for Sheffield. David Rowley says Wolves all the way this season. Lots of good young talent in the team. And there we go, we've caught up.
Fantastic. Right. Well, going to be interesting to see how this all pans out at the end of the season. It'll be interesting to see if we get to the end of the season, of course. But that's
if we have a season, then
I think we're going to have a season.
Yeah,
I think we're going to have a season.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a season.
Obviously we all want our teams to do well, but I think the most important in this season is just to see some speedway.
Absolutely,
because I think we've all been missing it really.
Yeah.
God, yes. I can't watch another Coventry versus Wolverhampton match on YouTube. So many Coventry matches on YouTube at the moment.
especially as they keep picking ones that wins.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course they do. Of course they do. But yeah, I mean, that is the most important thing. Let's get out there, all support our team. They need our support this year more than ever. So, get out there and support your team. Keep going on the GoFund team. Go on, Chris.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Kim, we need to mention also there's a new podcast on the block as well, isn't there? Which is from the BSPA.
BSPA sounds quite professional.
Yeah.
Not like us.
Yeah.
I mean, there's room for it for them all.
Oh,
we
yeah.
we don't see ourselves as competing with them because we do something that they never will be able to do, which is the interactive side of it. So we're about giving you guys your voice and letting you say and ask your questions. That's always what we, as we did on the last program with the Isle of Wight thing, I think we asked about 2 questions and the rest of it was you guys. Long may it continue.
Yeah. And good on them, the more the merrier, basically. If it's got to be good for the sport, isn't it?
Anything that's good for the sport is good in my book. So there we go.
I agree.
Maybe we'll invite them on.
Yeah.
To talk about, that's not a bad idea. We might invite them on to talk about their podcast.
Yeah, it'd be
Not bad idea.
Yeah.
I believe it was on tonight as well. So.
Yep.
That's brilliant.
So I understand. So.
Good stuff.
Right. Well, the last thing that I think we should talk about is when the next show is going to be on.
Come to that. Yeah.
So we came to a decision tonight, didn't we, lads?
Yeah.
We're missing our studio. Obviously, we can't. If you look at Chris, have you got the other camera, Chris?
No, I haven't got it set up. No, sorry,
Okay.
but yeah.
We've got a lovely new studio that Chris has built, and we want to use the thing, but we've not been able to because of all the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
So we reckon that we can next get back into the studio after the 17th of May. Is that right, Chris?
Yeah, I believe so. Then
As it stands at the moment,
then they're going to make a decision depending on how good we've been or how naughty we've been.
Yeah.
Basically, isn't it?
So what we have decided is that it's quite difficult to do these shows over Zoom.
Yeah.
Particularly for Chris, who just moans about it the whole time. It just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So we're going to wait now until one of 2 things happen, that the Speedway starts or we can get into the studio. So just watch this space. And as soon as we can get into the studio, we'll be up and running and doing this proper instead of all this Zooming stuff, which is getting on my nerves.
Yeah. It does
I've never
the job.
seen that door behind you shut in all the year that we've been doing this, actually, Mike. So.
You've never seen it shut. Would you like to see it shut?
Not really.
It's actually not a door, it's just a picture.
All right, okay.
I want to know who you've got in there behind that door. Who's behind the door?
It's Nicky Pedersen.
No, there's not a hole in it, so.
Oh, that's true.
Right. James just said, who's your riders to watch in each league? Maybe we've got a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we can do that. So, well, Jason Crump in Championship, everybody's going to be interested in how that goes. Yeah. Everybody's going to love watching him ride, I think. You'll get a lot of love, I think, around the leagues, around the teams. Premiership, who's a rider to what? What do you think? I think Dan Bewley.
Dan Bewley, I was going to say Dan Bewley, yeah. I think, I would say, from a personal point of view, I'd say Ryan Douglas as well. I think, as I say, he had a fantastic campaign in Australia. If he can continue that going to the British League, I think he's definitely going to be one to watch. Jack Holder as well at Sheffield, I think he's made good progress over the last few years.
I'm going to be interested in the Championship, how the Thompson twins do at Leicester.
Yep.
That's going to
Lewis
be
Bridger as well, of course, for Kings Lynn in the in the Premiership. See who he gets on after a period of time away.
Birmingham, I'm really looking forward to seeing Ash ride again because he was on such a rich Ashley Morris, that is. He was in such a rich vein of form before he had that stupid injury. I really hope he can, bring that because he was getting to the point where he was almost unbeatable on that last match before he had his injury.
Oh yeah,
so that would be I'm really interested to see how he goes. Obviously, I'm really interested in seeing how Eric does as well, but for different reasons. National League.
Jack Parkinson, Blackburn. Good
Jack
to see how
Park,
he goes.
yeah, absolutely. That's going to be an interesting one to see. Leon Flint as well.
Yeah, without doubt.
How he goes, and
Dan Jilks, of course.
Dan Gilk, I was just going to say Dan Gilk. So there's a few, it's an interesting league, the National League. I think they're going to have some decent matches this year.
And I
In
think,
fact,
you know,
all
one-
three of the
one guy
leagues are quite even, aren't they?
Yeah, one guy I've got to say in the National League as well, Sam Beebe.
Sam Beebe,
Yeah, see how he gets on, of course, after his smash a couple of years ago.
good luck to him. Good luck to every single one of them, to be honest. Well, yeah, there you go. Nothing controversial there.
No. All good
This is
stuff.
Jan.
Well, I think we're there, Mike.
I think we are there, yeah.
Yeah, we're there.
Just about to say that. So we will see you all from our lovely, shiny new black and white studio.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck to every one of the teams, but in particular Birmingham, of course. Thank you, everybody, for contributing to the GoFund page, which is still at £3,180. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and see you soon.
Do you know what a bit?
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Yeah.
Welcome to the Speedway Tavern.